Hello, Guardians, and welcome to Destiny Reset, episode 226. This show is about anything and everything related to the Destiny franchise. If you love playing Destiny 2 as much as we do, you're in the right place. This reset, the Season of Dawn, has begun. We talk about our adventures through time, talk through highlights of the sandbox patch, and detail what our plans are for this season and beyond. Hello, Guardians, and welcome. It's AER0KNIGHT and CyborgSasquatch. Hello, friend.
Hello.
How are you?
Happy weekend.
Yes.
Or end of weekend.
Wrapping up
Whatever.
the weekend. Happy wrapping it up.
Everybody's already done with the weekend.
It's almost Monday, like half an hour away.
Yep. How was your week?
It was good, man. Yeah, it was good. You know, it's holiday time. We host Christmas at our house, kind of like you were talking about with Thanksgiving. You know, so we're doing that whole thing, making sure we're prepped for the holiday, prep for Christmas, prep for the hosting, all that stuff. You know, still getting in the family time and some Destiny time, some Minecraft time. What about you, man?
More Minecraft. Very good. Yeah, man. Just real busy, trying to close out the year strong.
Nice.
And keeping up with getting ready for Christmas, and just a busy time overall, but looking forward to, I got one more week left in the year, really, and then I'm taking some time off. So,
Oh, nice.
looking forward to that.
Taking some time off first of the year?
Yeah, last week of the month, and then the first week, January.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So,
Yep. I take off. I try to take off a few days around the holidays, if possible. Yep. Excellent.
Yeah, once you count with Christmas and New Year's in the middle of the week this year, I was like, there's no point in trying to work the day after Christmas or the New Year's Eve or anything. Like, nothing's gonna happen.
Right. Right.
So I said, I'm just gonna totally take off and have some time with the fam. Take advantage of it.
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
So me and my wife are both like, one more week. Let's get through this week, because we got a lot on our plates this week.
Mm-hmm.
We're almost there.
Holiday parties. We had like several holiday parties last week. We got some other holiday parties this week, you know. But I feel like we're staying ahead of it. You know, it's like if you can stay ahead of it and, you know, organized and planned, it's pretty good, you know.
That's the idea.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you. So we're going to talk about some Destiny, though.
We are.
Coming up.
Hope everyone else's
still lots of Destiny.
holiday extravaganza is going smooth.
It's the dawn of a new season. But dawning.
Yes.
Dawn,
Yes.
dawn.
I see what you did there.
Dawn to dawn.
I'm sure they did too.
Do you think they just kind of leaned into... They were like, well, this season we're going to have the dawning, and then a bunch of crazy Vex stuff, and the Cabal, and Mercury, and Saint 14. Let's just go with the dawning. It's easy. I feel like after doing a lot of episode titles, I can relate to this thought process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we
Unless
wrap
there's
up
something
every
I'm missing.
show. That's insight to our process. Every show we wrap up and we're like, all right, let's work on the intro and the title. Let's do this. Can we avoid having dawning in our title over the next month? I don't know. We'll see.
Because the dawning starts next week, so we can't call it the dawning.
Mm-hmm. It's all timing,
into
guys. All these random things we got to think about.
Yeah.
How many times have we said that? Well, we can't talk about Iron Banner and call this one anything with Iron Banner because that's not till next week, but we're talking about it. Dawning, Festival, Classic.
Yep. Problems. Destiny problems. But hey, how about we do this show and then we'll have a title, and if you're listening, you'll get to see the surprise of what we chose.
Yes, because we don't know yet.
Nope.
But you already do. That's kind of strange.
That's right. All right. I don't think we have any announcements this week.
I don't think so. No announcements.
I'd like to announce that the season has begun.
It has. Yes.
There you go.
We'll have more announcements. It's a busy time of year. Some of these things we're planning and some of these things we're going to do and giveaways and some other things we got lined up because you guys donated some things, we'll probably see that come to fruition first of the year, probably, I would say.
Yes.
Cyborg. Yes.
Things and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, there's news because there's a new season.
Yes.
So there's things to talk about.
Plenty of things.
So this week at Bungie, a new season is upon us. Season of the Dawn has finally come. Or actually, it's just Season of Dawn.
Yes.
I don't think they're calling it the Dawn.
We've already had to edit an intro because we had the in there. It's easy to do.
Oops. Season of Dawn is upon us. We've got obelisks that have been revealed. There's a sundial to fix. And a guardian lost in time.
Mm-hmm.
We got the Season 9 calendar. Of course, we saw that last week. We got things to look forward to this coming reset, like the Nessus and EDZ obelisks, a new boss in the Sundial, Ozletk,
yeah, they're
the
tough.
Sky Piercer.
Their names are tough. I don't know if they're going to actually be tough.
Yeah. And then Save a Legend, it says. We see Saint 14 there. Also, the Dawning starts this reset.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's really close to the holidays, and then lots of other interesting things to come. So, we do get some new exotics with this season, some armor, as well as weapons, but they showed off a little preview of the new exotic armors for each class that are kind of cool, I think. What do you think about that? Have you gotten any of these yet?
No, I haven't. I actually haven't visited Zur yet, though.
You go visit Zur.
Yes, spend some things. See if I can
Sad
get them.
story. I visited Zur and bought my Fated Engram, and I got the exotic for the Titan. And then the next day, I got the exotic again from a strike.
Oh,
I was sad.
that stinks. That whole duplication
but
thing we talked about several times.
Hunter gets something called the Bombardiers. Bombardiers. That sounds right. Parting gift, dodging leaves behind an explosive that detonates after a short delay, damaging enemies around it. Can you imagine combining this with the new way of the sharpshooter, where you have this from your dodge plus a throwing knife plus a trip mine?
So many things.
You just wouldn't stand a chance.
No.
They seem fun. Warlock gets something that sounds amazing. Prometheum Spur.
Mm-hmm.
Embers of Light, while Daybreak is active, defeating combatants or guardians creates a healing and empowering rift at their location. This is pretty awesome. I've seen it in action.
That's pretty cool.
It's handy. I said, hey, throw some swords right down there. And they killed the guys. And then I jumped in the pool. And it was cool.
Fantastic.
And they're big. They're like the pool of light is about in between the regular rift and the Dawnblade rift. So it's like a medium-sized pool.
Okay.
So they're good.
Excellent.
A few people could stand in it. Titan gets Severance Enclosure. I got these. Spheromatic Trigger. Defeating a guardian with a melee attack or a combatant with a finisher unleashes a damaging explosion. Now, I tried this out. It's really hard to tell doing the finisher, like how big of an explosion you're getting.
Okay.
Like I literally can't tell. I don't know. I just have to trust that it works. But
I do not have it.
I want to try them in the Crucible and see how that turns out.
Hopefully I will get this soon. Test it out.
I wonder how they would work with the Code of the Commander, like that middle Sentinel class that gives you the explosions with the detonators, and then you detonate from the explode. Like, I wonder if you get like double explosion.
Test that out. I gotta say too, man. Talking about exotics, that new scout rifle we got is
Isn't it cool?
Man, it's a pretty gun model.
Symmetry. Mm-hmm. So I have to point out at first glance, when you just equip it and you start playing with it, it's like, okay, this is cool, but it's not amazing because you can just switch firing modes, right?
Right.
There's
yeah.
a
Yeah, I
loop.
had the same reaction. Yep.
You got to read the perks. I read the perks. I was like, oh, I get it.
So it kind of builds up, right?
Yes, you build up a stack of a perk when you get precision hits, not precision kills. It's precision hits, and you can stack it up to 15, and then you switch firing modes, and it holds on to that until you start firing, and then you have a timer, and you have that select fire, and it's like a tracking arc projectile that does a ton of damage, and it's super fun.
Yes, it is.
Super fun to play with.
Yeah, I actually was just reading the perks again today because I had basically the same exact process. When I first got it, I was like, man, this is okay. It's pretty and it's full auto. I like that in a scout, but what is going on here? And then, I took some time to read the perks.
Yeah, once you read the perk and then you start using it, you can see that it's a fun gun. And I find myself just sitting back like trying to get those precision hits so I can bank this thing and use it. It's fun, and man, it's definitely got me cheating on my Polaris Lance.
Oh, right, that Polaris.
It's so beautiful.
Mm-hmm. And
so pretty.
That's the thing too. Polaris is a beautiful gun as well, and gun model, I've mentioned this several times on the show, I'm sure is important to me. I like a gun that much more when it's pretty powerful and it looks awesome. So I definitely like the looks of the Scout.
It's got to have both, the best of both worlds.
Yep. About that fashion. Even with the
and brawn.
Weaponry. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm enjoying Symmetry. I want to get my hands on some of those other two exotics that we know about. There's possibility there could be another. I was looking at collections, and it looks like there's a spot for another gun. My guess, this is totally spin foil hat theory here, is that we could see an exotic version of the St. 14 shotgun.
Oh, Perfect Paradox. Yeah, that'd be cool.
That's just kind of a wish as well.
I dig it.
I'd get down with that though. If it had like some kind of cool, like imagine if it gave you some perks, kind of like the Helm of St. 14. Like it did like blinding effects or something.
That'd be cool.
Gave you like Weapons of Dawn or Ward of, I don't know, something.
Yeah.
I'm just spitballing here.
Hey.
Speaking of dawn, the dawning.
There you go.
Is happening.
Man, you're on fire tonight.
I feel like we literally just had the dawning.
I know.
Like
baking cookies and the things.
This is making me crazy. Like this year has flown by.
Well, combined with like not playing my usual amount, I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things, coming off this break a little bit, but like this coming back up. I actually got confused for a second this week because so much dawning info popped up. I was like, wait a second, that wasn't this reset. Like the way something was phrased or something, I thought maybe I totally got off of my calendar and it launched this past reset. I'm like, no. Something's wrong. So of course I went and looked to remember it was the 17th, but it seems like even though the season maybe we'll have some time to do some things that we didn't get done last season, I still feel like it is just a constant feed of something, man.
There's going to be a lot of stuff, but what I do appreciate is, all right, so there's no raid, so I'm not on a treadmill to work on raid and raid challenges
dungeon,
and that kind of stuff, right? Or, as far as we know, no dungeon currently, although
Seems
that mission, that Empyrean Foundation thing looks like that could be something ish.
Very true. Yeah.
Things are kind of like we're getting a different thing every week or two, with the bosses and the sundial and the obelisks and stuff. But overall, it just feels a lot similar to the cadence of Black Armory,
right?
where things were a little more spread out. I don't think it's going to be as grindy as Black Armory. But anyways, I like what we've got going
I do too.
so far with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. If it gives us a little time to fit in some other things in the game, I'm down.
Yeah, and I got a lot of stuff I want to work on this season between, stuff from this past expansion. I was just talking with one of my buds last night about we still need to finish like shadow stuff, like title stuff from the shadow title, because a lot of us have almost all of it done, but maybe one or two things on the shadow title. So there's a bunch of stuff that we're gonna try to do this season on top of the current new title and stuff,
Yep.
And we'll see.
I'm with you.
Yep. So the Dawning starts at 9 a.m. Pacific on December 17th and runs through January 14th. Is that 4 whole weeks? Is that 4 resets?
Is it? Let's look here. Yeah.
Seems like, okay, so we're going to have it for a while, for sure.
Maybe baking some cookies for a bit.
Yep, all of Eva's ingredients and cookies returned from last year. They've added new ingredients and recipes and made some improvements to the baking process. For each batch of cookies delivered, you'll gain progress towards bounties and rewards for some seasonal cheer. This year, Eva's got a new SMG for us to bake called the Cold Front. And then Avalanche will be back to earn if you didn't get that last year, which is really handy when you need a solar machine gun, because there's not a lot of those.
Yeah.
So you're gonna want to get that. Too bad though we don't have a return of the sword. Remember that sword we had a couple years ago?
Yeah, I think so.
I almost forgot about it till my buddy brought it up. It's like, oh man, forgot all about that sword.
It's interesting because we got a holiday event that's not giving us an auto rifle, even though as much as I love auto rifles,
right?
Yeah, we gotta get the SMG, so we shall see what it can do.
Another SMG. I wonder what this one will have.
I gotta say, like, SMG doesn't immediately make me want to grind for it, but
like crazy excited here, but it could be good. It could be.
Yeah, you never know.
Hey,
Something
remember
different.
what we said about the Crucible one?
Yeah.
You just don't know. Weekly and repeatable Dawning bounties also grant Bright Dust, giving you more sources of this currency for new items on the Eververse storefront. They show off a pretty cool little graphic with some unique gear. What do you think about the armor?
Man,
this year?
actually, it's funny you ask. I was kind of looking at it a little closer tonight. I think it looks cool, but I don't know what it is about the the event gear. I just typically never is enticing enough for me to like want to chase it. I don't know.
I'm not a fan of the Dawning stuff.
It's not even just the Dawning. I don't know what it is. I like that they kind of try to theme it around the event. I mean, you usually get kind of a vibe of whatever the event is, but I don't know. Maybe I need to mix and match a little more whenever I'm sporting out the fashion of my Guardian, but it just doesn't.
Yeah.
A lot of times it doesn't do much for me, man. I don't know. This doesn't. Like the helmets, I mean, maybe the helmet, but everything else just isn't really doing it for me. And I don't want to downplay any artist work or anything. I mean, it's it's neat, but it just, I don't know. It's not. I'm not feeling it.
You're not feeling favorite.
It? Yeah.
I do like the ghost shells, especially the little snow globe design.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
And then the what would you call this? Like a snowflake projection type thing. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, I like the projection one.
There's a great so I guess he's a polar bear. The great polar bear sparrow.
Yeah, right. And I saw, where did I see? There's another sparrow in there.
I'm sure that there is. I saw we're seeing everything.
I saw like a more futuristic sparrow on some image, but I don't know where I saw it at.
They mentioned somewhere they are going to return some of the old stuff, and so I wouldn't be surprised if we see some of last year's items.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely saw a couple of them in the preview.
I could see where you maybe think the polar bear's cheesy, but I'm digging the polar bear sparrow.
I like the polar bear.
I think
I'm
it's
down
cool.
with the polar bear.
Yeah, I think
and
that's
armored.
Cool.
This has got to be like a what do you call it? A golden compass or his dark material.
Right? Yeah.
Like, obviously.
Yeah. It's kind of like hit or miss with stuff like that, but I feel like the polar bear is hitting the mark. I think it's kind of cool.
I would be more satisfied if he had like a Coca-Cola bottle in his mouth.
Oh man, yes, I'm with you on that.
That would be cool, right? Or like a cup holder with a bottle, like a red bottle.
That would be pretty
real
cool.
Subtle. Yeah. There is a silver only item, which is the perfect 10 finisher, which is a cool little like ice skating action. I don't know if I'll spend the silver on this, but it's cool.
Oh, there it is, man. Cool. If you click over to the wallpapers, there's that other sparrow. Is that a refurb sparrow? Because I didn't recognize it. It's at the very bottom of that page. You click over on the media.
Okay. Yeah, we see some new ships too, and let me check out the sparrow.
Yeah, click on wallpapers and then click on that sparrow. It's the second image.
No, I don't know if new.
See, and I
think
the
top one is the one we had last year.
Yeah, I kind of like that sparrow too. I like that one.
Yeah, I do like that. That is pretty cool. I like it a lot. How do I X out of this? This is where I get.
It's a whole new tab.
Dadgum, it is.
Get it out of there.
They show off there's some other emotes as well that like I saw one on Twitter. Did you see the exotic engram one?
Oh yes, yep.
He opens it up and it's bread.
I didn't see that. Gosh. I didn't see the whole animation, but I did see that
he pulls it out and it's a loaf of bread.
That is awesome. Yep, I'm digging that.
Oh man, I love it. I don't know what you can see one where he's feeding something.
Yeah, I think
that's
too.
the pigeons for the season pass, because that's like the level 99 season pass emote. But then I'm looking at this other one and I think it's a cowbell. Need more cowbell is my guess.
I don't
know. But I do like I like here's the thing. Same thing with the Eververse seasonal stuff. I really like a lot of the stuff in the store this season.
Mm-hmm.
Like they definitely did a great job in making some cool stuff. But I'd go broke.
Right.
Buy all this stuff, man. Yeah. Now they did up some of the silver, the bright dust rewards for some things. So, and they put, I think the first day of the season, they laid out, I think, everything that was going to be bright dust purchasable, and then a couple things that would only be silver. So if you got the bright dust, you'll be able to buy some stuff. But I'm getting low.
Mm-hmm. I'm low. I'm 1 week, it was a few resets ago, I decided to buy like 3 different things. And yeah, I'm low.
Mm-hmm.
I'm running low. So,
and I'm cool with buying a little bit of silver for the events usually, and I might buy these finishers. Mm-hmm. Did you see the silver finishers? There's a few of them that are pretty cool.
Actually, I don't know if I've seen the finishers.
I want to say there's like 4 in the Eververse. There's Clock Cleaner, which is like a wind-up punch. Fist of Fury is pretty awesome, where you like charge up a fist. Flash Kick. Nail in the Head is I gotta have, where you throw the Titan Hammer.
Mm-hmm.
It's so great.
Yeah, speaking of, talk about in patch notes, but it's nice now because you can favorite finishers and then rotate
absolutely.
Or randomly. Yes.
And then we got some class specific emotes that I liked, but my favorite is the Hunter one. There's a blade wipe.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh, I need it. I need it so bad. So like, yeah, there's a bunch of stuff I want to buy, but they just make it so expensive, man.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
It is.
It's always, I'm always struggling with this stuff. It's tough.
It's pretty challenging to even attempt to collect it all.
I stopped trying to get everything a while ago, and just said, especially with cosmetic stuff, I'm just going to get the stuff I like, that I want to really have the most or whatever. But yeah, if you wanted to collect all that stuff that's in the Eververse, you'd spend a daggum fortune.
Yeah, and I've seen multiple people post like the calculations behind how much bright dust you can get if you do those repeatable bounties, which you can get quite a bit, but I don't know.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Yeah. I mean, at least the option's there, but yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they can't give you a ton, obviously, because, but
because they want to make money.
Exactly. But, I've seen, like, I think it was in the tens of thousands that you could get. Granted, that's still compared to what you'd have to spend, but at least there's the option to grind some bright dust if you need some, because I had several resets there a season or two ago where I wanted a couple things, but I literally had no way to get bright dust. I like broke down stuff and already did some bounties, and you can do the repeatable bounties and such. So yeah. Anyways,
well, we were talking about season pass. There's a feature on Bungie.net now. If you did not pick up all of your rewards from the season pass last season, you can actually go to a little spot on the Bungie.net site, and you can pick up anything that you might have missed. So if you forgot some currency or just anything, you can go and grab those rewards, which is pretty cool.
It is cool,
I will say, especially if you forgot to grab the armors or something on a character.
I wondered about that, man, because I finished mine out. Actually, I had to spend I had to spend some money to finish mine out because I didn't quite make it. You had a good point on my well rested. I was going to grind it out that last week, and I, of course, used it up my well rested bonus. So it started to slow down. Yeah, I wasn't factoring that in. But somebody had tweeted or asked me or messaged me and asked, they wondered if I completed it. I did have to spend some money to complete it because I did want the armor. But man, I was pretty methodical at going back through it and making sure I picked everything out of it because I didn't think they would have something like this in place.
Yeah, I didn't either. So I made sure on each of my characters, I went through and I grabbed the armor and picked up just everything, and I was real careful about it for the same reason. But it is great that if you forgot, you've got this opportunity here to go grab your stuff. It might have been an exotic engram you didn't get or some materials, anything, So that's pretty cool.
Wonder if those exotic engrams have the new back-end calculations in them and they won't give you new ones.
So here's the thing, and I think that they've already dealt with this, but there was a bug when the season launched, and some people were able to go on, grab an exotic engram from this, and they were working like the new engrams.
Ooh.
You could, and I went to check it out, and even if you had already claimed it last season, you could actually receive another one. So I claimed it to see if it would work, but it never showed up in my inventory. So my guess is that they fixed it by the time I heard about it. But some people were able to grab an extra exotic engram and then use it to get the item, the new exotic for their class or whatever. So free exotic. I don't know if they fixed it or if it just worked for some people. I don't know, but
I did not hear that.
Yep, I think it's done now. Whatever that bug was, no longer working. So that's a cool feature. That's a great quality of life thing. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Bungie.net. There's a long. You can actually. I think you might be able to do it on the companion app too. But there's a long URL, so just go look it up. And then they talk a little bit in Destiny player support about some known issues, and I had ran across some of these, and realized after the fact, oh, well, that's what happened, because so I had a problem in that I had completed a bunch of the bounties that Osiris gives you. You know, I think you get like 3 different quests or something at first, and I was like, okay, I guess that's it this week. That's cool. So I was like doing other stuff. And then I like caught on that there was a mission or something that I had totally missed. I'm like, wait a minute, how do you access this? And apparently when you go to Osiris and you complete a quest, you've got to back out of the screen that he's in and then approach him again before he'll give you additional quests.
Oh,
that's
okay.
what happened to
I
me.
must have done that by accident because I saw the additional 2 or 3 that he had.
Yeah, so even after you finish like those 3, there's going to be another one.
Oh, okay.
After you get there's one where you get the Saint 14 shotgun. Mm-hmm. And then after that was done, I was like, oh, okay, I guess that's it. But there is another one that you have to pick up. So just back out of the inventory screen and make sure that you don't have anything else to pick up before, you know.
Gotcha. I'm still working on the shotgun quest.
Because that's like that quest has some time to it too. So there's a bunch of stuff to actually do that'll take you some time. So that's one known issue. He's not doing that. Another thing that I noticed is that when you close and you reopen Destiny 2 on PC, some settings are being reset. So some of those might be window mode, resolution, VSync, frame rate cap, anti-aliasing mode, and key binding for forward movement. So some stuff is getting, and I keep having to go in and change a bunch of settings every time I open it. It's also, this one isn't listed, and I'm not sure if this is related, but ever since the patch, the game keeps turning, what is it called? HDR on. When I want it off on default on PC, I've never turned it on. Now every time I start the game, it cranks it on and I have to go turn it off. Which that can kind of kill some of your frames and performance issues if you really can't pull that off with your graphics card. So
yeah, it's pretty annoying too
out.
whenever you have to do that stuff over and over again playing a game.
Yeah. And I've been having a bunch of weird PC stuff that have been like frustrating for me lately.
Small
like
problems, but annoying.
My monitor is blinking when I'm playing the game, and I thought I had it fixed, and now it's doing it again. So I don't know if it's a driver issue. And then it'll occasionally, if I tab out of the game to get my cursor, when I tab back, it'll swap monitors on me.
Oh,
so I gotta push it to windowed mode, drag it over, then go back to full screen. It's like, oh, is this worth it?
yeah, because you kind of hinted a couple weeks ago you've been kind of maining PC, haven't you? Still doing that?
Since like October.
Yeah,
I'm going back and forth. It depends on where people are playing. But sometimes it's annoying and I'm just turning on the Xbox because it just works.
Right, yeah.
You
yeah,
know?
I'm definitely still maining PS4, but wouldn't mind hopping on PC again at some point soon.
Yeah.
Well.
Well, I'll tell you, I mean, playing Crucible especially, but a lot of stuff at 30 after being used to 60 can be really jarring.
Yeah, right, yeah.
But especially the Crucible, like PvE stuff is not as quick and twitchy, so I don't notice it as much. But when I go into the Crucible, it's like, oh god, this is choppy, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely buttery smooth on PC depending on your rig. But I guess I haven't played long enough spurts of time on PC for that to bother me too much. I'm sure if you spent quite a bit of time on there, you could see it.
Yeah, if you do it enough, and that's what you play for like a couple weeks or a month, and then you go on console, it's like jarring.
Yeah.
Go into a area. It's total PC thing to say. PC guy,
Cyborg,
like, oh, my frames. My frames.
Unbelievable. Who are you?
It's real, though. It's a real thing. But there's a number of other known issues. Check these out in Destiny player support if you're seeing some weird stuff.
Dude.
Yes.
I was going to say this in the news, but this is an appropriate place. I was wondering if they were going to list it in here. You've seen the things about the UI bugs where beta menus are popping up?
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk about this for a second because one, I was wondering if they would mention it in here and they didn't, but and obviously it might not be enough time to say it or address it, but they usually do pretty quick. Anyways, what started it all was somebody was playing elimination, and at the end of the elimination game, a little tooltip menu popped up that was basically a trials card, and it said beta. And
yeah, it's very bland. Like it's a box.
It's definitely like a placeholder
purple,
kind of thing.
It's got like a purple icon, and then it's got like little tick marks
with
nothing checked off.
You know, and some people thought it was fake, of course, at first, but you could actually go
thought
look.
It was fake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could go look at his archived stream and see it. And then I saw a couple of people that I watched, kind of talk about it. But then, dude,
some people reproduced it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you had any of them? When I played the first couple nights, I was loading up the director, and I figured out how to get it to prompt every time. I think I was moving my cursor from, like, as soon as I would go into Mercury, if I moved it over to Osiris, I think it would prompt the little purple. It almost like it jittered a little bit, and it would prompt a little similar purple colored icon, and then it would go away immediately and show me what it actually was supposed to be. And then I had it happen somewhere else while I was playing, and I was kind of tripping out a little bit because I was like, then when they didn't mention it in this, I was like, man, how weird. And this is totally me just spitballing too. It's like, probably very unlikely and not the case. This is just something going on the back end, some little UI bugs that they probably are going to patch out tomorrow as you guys are listening to this. But I was like, how trippy would it be if they did something like that in the game? Like they did some trippy thing like that with the UI that was almost like calculated little bugs in the game that was actually part of what they were trying to do for the season. It would just trip you out a little bit, man, because when I saw the trials, when I was like, oh yeah, but then when I started seeing it myself on a couple other things, my brain was just kind of going wild a little bit. Like, one, how is something like this kind of very similar to this not happened before with as massive as this game is? And then I was just having fun with it, thinking like it would be interesting if they ever went that route, with just kind of trying to play with your mind a little bit, leading up to something inside of the season. But anyways, I'm completely just going off the rails. I was excited to see a beta placeholder trials card.
Yeah, man. I thought it would be really crazy if they just totally had that mode ready to go. Mm-hmm. And it just popped up out of nowhere, and this is why we're seeing that, Right.
Yeah, I saw some speculation, like people just wondering if it would just pop up like mid-season or something. I mean, at this point, trials, something very similar, or it seems very likely. But I don't know, something just made me start thinking about, what if they just embedded that like into the season? This thing was clearly like a placeholder tooltip. I don't know, if you guys didn't see it, definitely go search for it. But then when it was weird because that one just looked like, okay, that's not supposed to be in the game yet. But the stuff that was happening with me on the UI and then like with Osiris, it was almost like it was animated, like what you'd see like fading in and out of like a digital type of signage or something. And I was like, dude, that would be so wicked if they did some sort of thing like that throughout a season.
Right.
Anyways.
Yeah, just a tease.
Yeah.
It's like little things start popping up in the game like almost fourth wall breaking.
Yeah.
That'd be wild.
It'd be cool, yeah. But I don't know that that's the case here. But what's weird is they all kind of match too. Like it was this almost like legendary purple looking color, if I remember right. Like you could see almost like an updated color, and or with the trials one, like a updated tooltip looking compared to what we have now. It just looked a little bit different, like a little updated, a little tweaked. So who knows, man?
I think it'd be kind of cool if instead of Trials of the Nine or Osiris, we got Trials of Saint 14.
Ooh, there you go.
What you think about that?
Any kind of trials I'll take, man.
Yeah, you'll
the
take
first step.
Trial him.
Yes.
Trials HD on Xbox 360.
Name.
You'll take it.
Trial Series X. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Whatever
so
it takes.
I'm telling you, man, it's I'm hoping it's coming soon. The first step was to get Elimination back as a permanent playlist, and it's there.
Right.
So we'll see.
Yup. No doubt.
Anyways, I took us on a tangent.
So you've jumped into some of the Elimination now that it's a permanent mode?
I have not even stepped in the Crucible, man. I'm doing the opposite as last season. I'm looking at the title and the triumphs, and I'm grinding some PvE right now. So
nice.
Anyways, yeah, no Crucible for me yet.
All right. What do you think? What do you think of the Crucible ritual weapon this season? Doesn't seem like it's too terribly tough to pick up.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. It hasn't enticed me fully yet. That's the first thing that I did last season. So
linear fusion kills.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Which I do like to use those. I went on a little kick a couple of seasons ago with that gun because it's a mix of sniper rifle and a torque bow or something. But
right.
It's not like my go-to. So
get the old Arbalist out.
Yep. I did use that for a bit too.
Are doing.
It's the closest we've had to no land. I did use that for a bit.
Well, anyways, back on track here. Movie of the week, Moon's Haunted.
Dude, it's great.
Loved it. It was such
good.
a cool like blend of animation and in-game stuff. Like it was hard to tell what you were looking at sometimes.
Yep.
But it's like they took some vistas and they animated, the characters inside, like what they capture. It was really cool the way that they did it. I liked it a lot.
I did as well.
Yeah, and it was funny, which you can't beat funny. And then Gigs, right? I think it was with his 2-year montage, Crucible montage. I love those. Yeah, here's the preview of the exotic.
Oh, there it is. Yeah, that's
engram.
right. Yep.
Can't miss that. Love it.
I must have not watched it all the way through because I did not see that it was bread.
Yeah, you open it up and he pulls out a loaf of bread.
That's awesome.
So good. So that
Take
was
my money.
Yeah. How much is that going to cost? That was the TWAB. We talked about the Dawning. There also was a big patch note.
Bigger than I thought the patch was.
Yeah, I didn't realize that I didn't read them until today, and I was like, "Whoa, man, these run on." But a lot of it is the class specific sandbox stuff that we already knew about and we've already covered in shows, so we don't have to kill any time on that today.
It's a lot of stuff.
But there's some other stuff too, to weapons and quality of life stuff, some of which we knew about. Like we knew there was going to be changes like to escalation protocol and some fun stuff like that.
Which makes sense now because we're going to be there doing things.
Yeah, no doubt. That is kind of handy, huh? But they had the cool addition of a finisher. They call it finisher multi-equip. It's like a randomizer on your finisher, which is great because like I remember people specifically asking about this idea when the finishers came out, and they pretty quickly came up with a system.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, and I
like it because you it just stays on the random thing, and you can favorite which ones you want to cycle through.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see the system with like emblems and sparrows and ships and stuff too.
Yeah, that'd be
Like,
cool.
let me turn on random and it just cycle through stuff.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely, the UI team knocks it out of the park. I mean, it's simple things like this, but I mean, I even went and looked at it. I love UI stuff, and I'm like, oh, wow, cool. Like, you can see the little star there, and you favorite it. It's just subtle, but it's definitely neat.
So, I like it. I
I
like it
do
a lot,
too.
especially with new finishers.
Mm-hmm.
And I just unlocked the, I guess it's the level 10 finisher, the Kellbreaker. Of course, the titular season or Saint 14 headbutt.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I don't think I'm going to take that one off for a while.
You don't need a
interesting-
favorite system now.
Yeah, I don't need the system. I just have the one that I need. A cool change for stat values. So class ability cooldown is now governed by player stats.
Mm-hmm.
This is a neat change that makes sense kind of in the system that we have. So Hunter Dodge is modified by mobility now, Titan Barricade by resilience, and Warlock Rift by recovery, which all makes sense with what their abilities are.
Right.
So that's kind of cool how, you'll want to try to get certain armor or perks depending on what your class is and etc. But the Paragon mods have been deprecated, which I guess that means they've been removed. So no more Paragon mods.
Bye-bye. People would stack those. I mean, I did on my Hunter.
Yeah.
Get that invis.
There were some changes to some exotic weapons that help with some different issues. One that I think that they don't list it here. I would say it's unintended, but there's something going on right now with the what's the bow that you got from the dungeon last year?
Leviathans.
No, I'm drawing a blank on what it's called. I'll just have to
from
pull it up.
from which dungeon?
So not Trinity Ghoul, but I'm thinking of not Limonarch.
Oh my goodness, I'm totally blanking right now. I almost had it. It's the see-through walls bow.
Yes.
Good grief! Everybody's saying it right now. It's loud as they
Wishender.
possibly can. There you go.
Wishender. All right. Wishender has something crazy going on right now. I guess you
I
could
did
call
see
it a
that.
bug. So one of the perks with Wishender is that it does extra like penetration damage. So it damages the target on entry and on exit. And you can also over penetrate. So you can shoot through multiple enemies if you line them up. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's happening is a lot of the time when it hits an enemy, it's damaging 3, 4, 5, 6 times and just doing a ton of damage.
Mm.
So if you want to take advantage of a bug, you could do that. But they don't list any changes to the weapon in the notes, so I have to assume it's unintended. And again, we mentioned this so many times, like, what is it that they break?
Right. Something
that would
random
do
like
this?
that. That random.
Like, what exactly did you do? It's crazy. But moving on, they did do an archetype change with linear fusion, so precision damage is increased by 20%, doesn't affect sleeper simulant, significantly increased target acquisition at close to medium ranges. Interesting changes there. Sidearms get increased target acquisition across the board. I kind of noticed that they were super sticky, but I didn't realize until I read these that they made that change. But
Yeah, apparently that, what is it, strike sidearm is a thing to get right now? Is it strike?
There is the one that you can get from
Ritual?
the Vanguard. Yep, the Ritual. And it's because it has a perk on it. I think it's Osmosis. So using your grenade ability changes this weapon's damage type to match your subclass until you stow it. It's a single shot side. So I got this the other day. It doesn't take long to get. The thing is like the fun was ruined because before I even got it, I got Breach Light, which is the one of the obelisk rewards, and I got it with Osmosis, but also Demolitionist, which is like the perfect perk to go with it. Yeah. Because you get kills, it makes grenade energy, then you have Osmosis that lets you do cool stuff with it.
Osmosis as well. Yep.
There's a number of new perks on these guns that are really cool. There's that one. Volpa weapon is a really cool one. It lets you do increased damage to boss, vehicles, and guardians in your super. I haven't gotten that one yet, but that one's supposed to be pretty fun. There was another one. Oh, Elemental Capacitor. So that one, it increases stats on the gun based on what subclass you have. So if you have a solar subclass, it increases reload, arc increases handling, and void increases stability. So you can actually change how the gun plays depending on what subclass you have. And then I got one, it didn't even help, but so have you gotten that grenade launcher yet?
No. So
it's called Martyr's Retribution.
I've seen it.
This thing's cool because it's a single shot breach loading grenade launcher, goes in your special. When the grenade hits the ground, it shoots fire forward like a grenade.
Oh, wow.
Which in and of itself is really fun to play with. But then I got it with a perk of lead from gold. So it says picking up heavy ammo also grants ammo to this weapon. So that's just a few that I've seen.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's any more, but I love that there's new perks and that we have all these new cool weapons to play with.
Yeah. New perks is always a good thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Anyways, going back, there were some other changes to stuff like Master of Arms. We knew about that. That was going to show up. Some other miscellaneous stuff. And some armor changes to exotics you should look up on. Some of these we also knew would be coming. Armor mods, though, got a little bit of a buff. They removed stacking restrictions on many armor mods. So this was something that they had talked about before Armor 2.0 came out that we didn't see in the first system. Where if you remember, like Luke Smith talking about, oh, you want a hand cannon reload mod, like you can stack that. Well, we couldn't do that in the current system, but now you can do some mods. But it says some with similar effects provide diminishing returns. So I don't know which ones stack exactly, but I'm looking forward to playing with that. Another change they mentioned is they reduced the efficacy of ammo scavenger mods to their pre-Shadowkeep levels to accommodate mod stacking. So it sounds like you're going to have to stack some ammo finders to get what you want out of them.
Where you would have been before. Yeah.
Yeah. General stuff. Some weird changes with some funny stuff that was going on. You can read up on those. The XP required to level up the seasonal artifact has been slightly adjusted. They mentioned some had a much higher increase in XP required from the previous level. And what they did was distribute the increase throughout all levels to smooth out the curve.
Nice quality of life thing they added too, just a little bit further, was they tweaked the season pass UI a little bit. Give you some nice tooltips on the bonuses you're getting, right? Because there was a couple times last season especially when I was paying attention whether I was going to hit 100 or not, I'm like, all right, let me go through here and see what buffs that I unlocked. Right. But yeah, they got that nice season pass bonuses tooltip at the bottom now.
Yes.
And the little banner that you can hover over with some info too.
Yeah, I like that a lot. And you'll notice, like, so one of the things we had last season with that kind of played into the season pass was the what is it called? The exotic catalyst. For what was the name of the gun? It's called the Vow, is the quest, but it was an exotic catalyst for Ariana's Vow, right? And it would be super punishing until you reached higher levels of the season pass where you got a bonus. So they have a similar function for symmetry, which, by the way, they don't tell you anywhere, but go see the gunsmith to pick up that quest for the symmetry catalyst.
Yes, right.
It was like 2 days until I went back. I was like,
Yep,
there it is.
me too.
So they changed both of those, actually. If you didn't finish the other one, it has a similar function to this season's exotic catalyst. So basically it has a progress bar 0 out of 400. And it says earn progress by completing sundial runs, gambit matches, crucible matches, playlist strikes, and nightfalls. So if you didn't have any bonus, you'd have to do 400 activities, right?
Right, yeah.
But if you look in the season pass, like you're talking about, it's got this cool bonus display at the bottom, and you'll be able to see at certain breakpoints, rank 11 and 22, you get acceleration to those quests. And my guess is it will also apply to the Vow this season if you didn't finish it, which will be nice, because last season it was like you had to have it equipped when you finish the activity. And I did a ton of activities, but I wasn't using that, you know?
Yeah, no, same. Yeah.
I didn't get anywhere on it.
Hardly. Yeah, I don't think I have any progress on that because I kept forgetting.
I had like 7% or something. It's super low.
Yeah. Yeah, it's nice too because those bottom little tool tips, they just kind of progress in your percentage as you get through the season pass. So you can just kind of hover over them and see how many you've unlocked. You don't have to go back through and look at each little tool tip. And
right.
Yep, it's nice.
I like that.
Nice addition.
They fixed some stuff with quests and bounties that were going on with some lore, the season pass, like you talked about. Big one, I think we got the preview for last week, was the exotic engram. So now when you get one, it awards a new exotic if you don't have any. Now, I don't think that applies if you get a exotic as a reward, but if you have one drop from an enemy, then it works like a faded engram. Yeah. So that's pretty cool. So you can still go pick one up from Xur this week, but if you get one out in the wild, then it'll give you stuff that you don't have.
It's nice. I'm surprised because they usually are kind of protective of those new exotics, but why not just let us have them? Right?
I think especially for new players where there might be like, I don't know, dozens possibly of exotics that they can't get. This definitely provides a solution where you have a better chance of getting something new. Because I mean, there's easily several dozen weapons and armor across the board of exotics, you know?
A lot of new players coming on. That's
imagine being new and just getting like duplicates. Like, oh man.
Over and over. Yeah.
So depressing. So I think it's a great change. I like it a lot. Like, have that friendly mechanic and then just balance how often you see those drops, you know? I think it's a good solution. I've always been of the thought that when it came to exotics, like you want them to be rare, but you don't want it to be punishing like it was in Destiny 1 where you just never, you had a chance to literally never get something, you know? Like I had friends that got Yalorhorn in like year 3 and it was just like,
I know it's funny. I saw a YouTuber I watched post a video the other day. They finally got, I think it was Monte Carlo. And it's funny when you see those now because it's few and far between, but you see that that face and that excitement of finally getting one you were hunting. It doesn't happen very often anymore. Not near as much. Back in the day, though, like you're talking about, that happened regularly.
Right.
Like, as in regularly, people finally getting something. And it was different for everybody, of course. Like, it took me forever to get Gjallarhorn, dude. And Fatebringer, I got like a month before some expansion or something. And it just took forever, man. It's... Vex took a while. You know, I mean, it did make that moment super special, but it was rough.
Yeah.
Rough times.
Rough times. Well, did you see this new consumable you can buy in the Eververse?
I read about it.
I'm kind of on the fence about this. So you can buy this for 200 Bright Dust. It's called the Concentrated Matter Gem. Mm-hmm. So when you use this, it causes bosses to have a chance to drop an upgrade module when defeated. It basically works how that other, I don't even remember what it's called, but it gives you a chance to get an enhancement core. Mm-hmm. It works just like that. But I'm not sure how I feel about this being sold for Bright Dust.
Yeah.
I guess if it was silver, I would feel one way. Mm-hmm. Seeing that Bright Dust you earn from bounties and stuff.
Right.
I guess that's not terrible.
It's not too bad, yeah. I had to take kind of double take on it when it said upgrade module. I was expecting something more substantial, but it makes sense.
But it's funny because having done a lot of Nightfalls and stuff at the end of last season and even this season so far, I've got the max. You can carry 50 enhancement prisms, okay? Mm-hmm. I'm maxed out on that. I've got a bunch in my Postmaster. I don't have a lot of gear that I've fully masterworked, and so I end up needing the upgrade modules more than anything, and that's what I end up buying. Like I go dump materials at the gunsmith on those. So I like that there is something you can buy to get these, but I wish I could get them for gunsmith parts or legendary material or like shards. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Rather than have to spend my Bright Dust. So I feel like I don't know. I mean, maybe
Bright
they're trying
to. I know some people are setting on a lot, but yeah, Bright Dust is quite a big deal for me.
It's more rare, than anything, and like you said, I mean, there's literally people with 100,000 plus Bright Dust.
I have 1,000.
This is not going to drain that for them.
Right.
You know? But for the people that really want to get these, I don't know. I don't want to spend my Bright Dust on this, but I want to use some.
Well, we were just talking about, a lot of things in Eververse we want, and spending it on this is not what we would want to do. And yeah, like you're kind of insinuating, it's going to hurt the people that don't have a lot. Granted, you don't have to buy it, and you get those upgrade modules throughout your season pass. But I mean, I had several different occurrences where I had to go pick some up for mats and stuff last season. So I don't know. I guess it's another way to do it. You don't have to do it, but Bright Dust is not something I'm spending anything on without some strategery behind it. So
strategery.
Yeah.
Such a great word.
I don't think it is actually a word, but
it's not. It's a Saturday Night Live word.
Yes. That's our trials. That's our trials. Words there.
I like it. I like it a lot. Moving on though, there were some changes to collections and triumphs they're working on. Glimmer stuff. Of course, they reduced some costs for Glimmer on like weapon mods and things like that. Mm-hmm. Some stuff with vendors they improved. World rewards. They put some of the old guns back in the loot pool and the engrams. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you gotten any old school guns yet?
Yeah, got some. I got Hawthorne Shoddy. I did see I got a bounty to pop up working on Black Scorpion. Man, that gun goes way back for me in D2. I'm sure I've mentioned it before, but I landed on it in the beta.
Black Scorpion's great.
Dude, it was amazing. And then I got an awesome one at some point over the last couple seasons. But yeah, I saw it pop back up. Hawthorns, and then I feel like there was one other I got. How about you? Did you get any oldies?
I saw Uriel's
Oh, yeah,
gift
that's right. Yeah.
pop up.
So somebody throw that up on the screen, yeah.
That was a cool one. Man, remember that meta? Remember Uriel's gift being like the jam?
Yep, I
and
love
trials
that thing.
and stuff? It was so obnoxious. So
Autos in the
obnoxious.
Crucible. They had their moment for a moment.
They did. For a moment, they did. Autos in Last Hope. I'd like to get a...
Oh, dude, Last Hope.
Man.
That's funny.
That was the jam right there. Mito Last Hope.
Mm-hmm.
What a world. So, beyond that, they fixed some new light stuff, which is important. EP and on and on. The Nightfall, the Ordeal got some changes. They added 3 new strikes to the Ordeal lineup and removed 3 of the Season 8 strikes. They've got some Cabal modifiers, new strike-specific modifiers, whole bunch of different stuff to make them, I guess, more Cabal-ish, which is okay, I guess. I'm sick of killing Cabal, I'm going to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Give me a
Cabal.
new race. I want a new race in Destiny. What do you think?
Yeah, I could do a new race. Like brand fresh new race, not one that necessarily feels like it's feeding off another. Granted,
Right.
we've had some cool ones that have.
Yeah. God, but
Something
I said
brand
that
new.
and we got scorned, so
Yeah.
I'm going to be careful.
Yeah.
Scorn are just so hard to fight. There's just so much more. There's a bunch of stuff to Crucible. They made some changes with momentum control. Here's an interesting one. 150 scout rifles will only one-shot targets under 5 resilience.
Yes, I saw that.
Now they make that change.
Yeah.
After last season. We had those playlist changes with some of the maps that they mentioned. Have you gotten onto Rusted Lands yet?
I have not. Nope, I haven't jumped in at all.
I want to get in there so bad. I guess I know it's going to be an elimination, right?
Should be. Yeah, I think.
So I need to go find some elim.
And they feel those maps, man, take me back so quick in elimination, because when we jumped in, they only had the 3 rotating last season, and we got oh goodness, Widows, and what was the other? Just the 2 classic maps.
Twilight.
Just flashback.
Yeah,
So.
I've played some Twilight recently, and it just reminds me why I don't like that map.
Yeah, it's not my favorite map, dude, but I do enjoy it just because we played so much of so many trials.
I think
matches
it's funny
on it, but
because I enjoy Twilight Gap in 3s, but I really despise it on 6s.
Yeah, 6s. I mean, I have a clip on my YouTube channel, one of just many random clips, but of going like actually we were playing with Clintus. It was Terry Clintus and I, and the match lasted forever, and I think I ended up like 8 or 9-0 in one round. That's why I miss trials so much. It was just one of those amazing magical rounds that just all fell into place for me, and it was on that map. And it's like when you have something like that happen on a map, it usually just ends up having a special place in your heart.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's
you know
like
how it
Widow's
is.
Court. Like I just had this one play that I still remember to this day of defending like the point on match. Like I was solo, which I never do well if I'm last guardian standing, and I just took on these 3 guys with last word, and I can remember every play-by-play in my mind still to this day. Like,
Man, it's so fun. Yeah,
it's
I miss
just
it.
something. Yep, those maps. It's just the same with any shooter. Like you'll have moments on a map, and you can still like, oh, remember this map in Halo Reach. Remember this map, and
Remember doing
like you
this
just
or
get
that.
attached. You get attached to things because that's where plays like big plays will happen, and it's so cool,
Yep, without a doubt.
So I do like I don't know, they were getting some flack for a little while for bringing old stuff back, but I appreciate them bringing back some of the really good, strong Destiny 1 maps. Like I think it's great. There's a couple more still on my wish list, to be honest.
Yes, Anomaly. I'd like to see back, but only
I didn't want to say
No
it,
Land
but
comes back.
I didn't want to say it, but Anomaly, man. It's one of those love-hate maps.
I normally don't enjoy maps those tight quarters like that, but
yeah.
No Land Shoddy on Spooky Trials. That map is where I got my Scarab emblem, dude.
Spooky Trials.
Yep.
Oh, Spooky Trials. Anyways, well, that was that's all the news we covered. Our hot fix, our patch. We got the TWAP covered. We got the dawning.
You forgot
up this week.
A huge one, Cyborg.
What?
You can use your Switch controller on Steam now.
Gosh. Who would use I'll take that back. Switch Pro controller is a good controller.
It is a good controller.
It's
I
comfy,
just don't know. Yeah, if I'd use it for.
I would be using my Xbox controller far before that one.
Yeah, I'd be using my PS4. You know, I did realize though, all those times I talked about my Xbox Elite controller, and even when we had CJ on, he knew exactly what I was talking about, just the dead zone and the sensitivity difference in the joysticks. I realized, dude, I grabbed my day one, it's on the controller, my 2013 day one controller for my Xbox One, because my son's using my Titanfall controller, my OG Titanfall 1 controller. And so anyways, I grabbed that controller. I don't even remember why I did. I just got it off the shelf, hadn't used it much. And the default sticks on those Xbox controllers feel, as much as I play on PlayStation, feel way closer to the sensitivity and dead zone than the sticks that I've got on my Elite. And I think I have the shortest sticks on my Elite, so I can't make it any better. I've played with the settings, this or that. So anyways, totally random side note, but I've been using my day one Xbox controller, and it feels more like my PlayStation sensitivity I'm used to.
Yeah. Hey, well, whatever gets you there, man.
Hey, man, whatever works. I just feel like if I would have known that some of those back in the day when we were playing some stuff together on Xbox, maybe could have landed a few more trouble. No land shots. And one more random thing before we move on, dude. I got the game up, and earlier when we were going through the patch notes, I loaded into Tangled Shore, and the how do you say them again? The new
Obelisk.
thing. Obelisk. Thank you. It did it again. I loaded in and it jittered the normal icon for it and purple, and then it jittered back.
Oh, weird.
Dude, it's weird. That's why I'm like,
what? What were you?
Nothing. I just loaded in. I loaded into the Tangled Shore, and it's right there in front of you to the right, and the icon for it jittered purple. It's like it's weird, dude. It's like it's on purpose. It's a stretch, but it's
timelines are changing.
It's just weird.
Wouldn't that be wild?
It would be nuts.
It totally played into the whole sundial thing and timelines changing, and then all of a sudden,
and they haven't said anything about it.
And Trials of Saint 14 happens, and
dude, it would be nuts. It's just it's weird the way it's happening. It's like a intentional, like you'd see in a movie or something, a jittery.
Here's the thing: when we were talking about this, that I didn't bring up, it would be really strange to have something in a release build that was a branch. Do you get what I'm so they have different builds when they're working on the game, and to have a beta feature or function or a activity or something to get pushed out into the build that's going out into the game would be really strange, because there's no reason for it to be there,
And it's happening, how easily it's happening and how often it's happening for me is how in the world would they not have had it happen to them?
Right.
And the normal
but that goes
playtest.
into the thing where they talk about they have so many X number of man hours that they can test stuff.
Right. Not
in
millions
the
of players.
But when you get to millions of players, you can run into stuff so quicker, that you would just never see, or it would have just taken.
And it could be, it's not necessarily, it could just be something with my profile and character and the way that it's this or that that's happening to me more often.
Console specific, platform specific, Like there could be just so many things.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just weird. I realized when that happened while we were going through the patch notes why I went where I did, with thinking like how crazy it would be if it was intentional, because it looks like a intentional graphic jittery, like techie digital, you know what I mean? Shutter.
Yeah.
It's how many more descriptive words can I have in there? It looks like it's supposed to be there.
I don't know, man. There's so many times that we've been like,
and we're like fixing the timeline and stuff.
Yeah. Like you want to think that things could be that awesome, but then I also like don't want to get my hopes up too high because
it's just a beta menu that's working its way in.
But how great would it be if it would, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We'll see. I mean, something's got to come out of that, right? We know for a fact, so there was a community summit, for sure we know about, like, this past week, I think.
It was like a week
so they had some folks out there, and a lot of people that were there are current or former PvP heavy invested players, right?
Mm-hmm.
Real Crafty was there, Dr. Lupo was there, like some people that you would like in Crafty being there, you know, he's not like, he hadn't totally left Destiny, but he hasn't been playing Destiny for a while.
Right.
And then there was this other thing. One of the guys, one of my friends that lives in the Seattle area posted, and it came up as an ad, I believe, on Facebook for him. That it was like a third party advertising playtests at Bungie, and it was you would get paid $50 to do it, and to do so you had to go on to this link and like apply, be local area I suppose, or be able to get there, and they listed a bunch of dates like of this week. So him and one of our other buddies that live there like both applied for it. I don't know if it's legit, but one has to imagine it is. And
yeah, you'd think so.
So what would they be paying people like the general public that play Destiny to test? Like, there's got to be trials, right?
Right, you'd think. Yeah.
Or some kind of mode. It's got to be a mode or something. Because they're not going to pull just like anybody in to test raids or PvE modes. Like those are easy things to test. But if you've got like a big PvP mode you're about to push out and you want to get a bunch of hands on it, like that would make sense to try to bring a bunch of people in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, we know Bungie, they don't like to just bring something back exactly the same, but they also tried to make some changes at the launch of D2 with something like Trials. So, I mean, it seems as though one of their focuses right now is in-game PvP. At least we hope so. So, some sort of iteration on Trials makes the most sense.
Yeah. So we'll see. I mean, I'm optimistic that we're going to see something like Trials this year. I am.
Yeah, I mean, Fallout had an excellent video, just different details that he's observed and what he thinks, and it does make sense that as much as I wanted to see it this season, with everything that's happening this season, the hints, the way they hinted about things, that maybe this season leading into the next is where we're going to see it. I mean, I would still love to see it mid-season this season, but it seems like maybe likely next season. So.
I would be surprised if we saw it this season, but I think if we did get it next season, then it'd be pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be pretty exciting.
I'd
love to see a PvP focused season. Like,
do we have awesome. an event, like a holiday event or anything in this next? Will we have one in this next season?
I don't know because, well, let's see. So it would start in March, right? Mm-hmm. March, April, May. Didn't we have a spring? Do we have a spring thing? I'm
just wondering if we're missing a.
There's the Revelry.
Yeah.
What is the Revelry? Was that spring last season?
Might have been that. They usually try to have one a season now. I'm just wondering, if
I think we got the Revelry last spring, and it was almost kind of like the Dawning-ish.
Yeah. I remember talking about
like
that.
The Dawning knockoff.
Like it's not that long ago, but so does every other.
Right.
Slowed time down.
Because the Revelry is where we got the where they like put the thing up on the air, like on the Tangled Shore or whatever, or the EDZ, right? Where we were playing the bosses. That was a revelry, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I was thinking about that yesterday. I'm like, what do we have for the Dawning last year? Because I don't think we had anything different for the Dawning last year besides the baked thing. Like, I remember complaining that there wasn't any significant gameplay change.
I was just thinking, I couldn't remember if we had anything. If we didn't, it would make sense to give us something.
Which I don't think we're getting anything like that this year either, unless they surprise us. Like, there's no mode, there's no, it's not anything. Which I'd at least like to see the whole snowballs thing come back. Like the year that we did that, I guess it was the first D2 year 1 that we got the snowballs. And that was pretty fun. Like where you could throw the snowballs in the crucible and
we could throw them in the tower last year, couldn't we?
Yeah, I think that we had them in the tower, but they weren't like in the strikes and they weren't in the crucible and they didn't have all that stuff going on. And I thought that was pretty fun. I don't know. I'd at least like that to come back, but no snowballs.
Going on some tangents tonight. I think I've caused a couple of them.
That's sorry. Both our fault. Anyways, how about this? How was your reset, Arrow? Talk to me.
Yeah, dude, my reset's been good. I'm getting back in the swing of things and just jumping in, doing the intro stuff. And I gotta say, when I was like doing the intro stuff, it doesn't take long, but I was like, man, I just want to can I try the sundial thing out?
Yeah, right. They get you in the sundial pretty quick, though.
It was pretty quick. Yeah, it wasn't too bad. I was just trying to figure some of it out. Like I said, I haven't played Crucible at all. So, I mean, like I said last season, what I learned is I went and looked at the triumphs, which, speaking of the triumphs, they've said several times that there's not actually 28. There's only 15. But if you go and count them...
There is, but not for the title.
Steps. Right? Yeah.
There's a bunch of triumphs, but there's not 28 required for the title.
But if you go into the title, though, and they must not be counting the badge, there's actually 16 in there. And I guess they're just counting the 15 without the badge. But then, if you look at it even closer, it actually does progress on each of the destinations where you level up the new thing.
The obelisk.
Thank you, obelisk. I'll get it at some point. There's tiers of that. So it says level it up once, and then it ticks, and you got to level it to 3 or 5, and then you got to level. I think you got to level each one to 10. You get an increase to that 28 in your title each time you hit the tier of that.
Maybe that's what the problem is
and I think so.
Counting them as tiers, and it's not.
It will be 28, I guess, maybe if you count the tiers.
Yeah.
Which would have made sense. They just didn't explain it that way. Anyways, I don't know. Well, I was going to say I don't know why I spent so much time on that, but I know why, because I went in there diving in, looking and seeing what is going to be required of us to get the title, because I want to get the title if I can. And it's actually a cool title. It's Savior, right? Which is pretty cool.
I like it.
So I'm like,
a lot of them are secret.
Yeah.
A lot of
there's a handful of secrets. Yeah. So I went in there instantly just trying to get my plans set on that. And then I've decided I'm gonna level up each and maybe this isn't the best strategy because I'm still trying to figure some things out, but I'm just leveling up like the Tangled Shore. I got the Tangled Shore and of course the Mars unlocked, but I'm just like sinking the Tangled Shore and getting it leveled up. Now there's some depth to these things. It's kind of the classic. I remember me and you talking about it, about different things, like maybe some layers of complication that aren't necessary, but at the same time I totally see what they're doing with it. You know, there's more layers to these things than I thought there was going to be.
I like a few things about the obelisks. I like that you unlock mods through them. I think that's a cool touch. I like that you can tie different ones to the sundial to choose your rewards. I think that's a cool system.
That is cool. Yep. Because you could unlock, there's things you could unlock too, right? That lets you link more than just one, or stuff like that, which I think that's cool. It takes a minute to sit there, just kind of look at it all. Do you have to level it up once to see most everything that you can get, I think?
Yep, and then as you level them up more, I noticed it shows you more things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So
it's like it's an interesting cross between the menagerie mechanics and the Black Armory in more than one way. Like the activity, the reward system, the obelisks, it's all this mashup of almost everything that they've done with the menagerie, with Black Armory. What else? I feel like there's another layer there, but I like everything that I've seen so far. Like there's no part of it that I've been doing that I'm like, oh, this is really dumb or boring, or like compared to say Black Armory, where even unlocking the forges could be a huge headache. You know, so they jump past that. Like there's very short quest for those. The menagerie aspect of like getting the Imperials to open up stuff, like that's kind of similar with what we're doing with the fractals,
right?
You know, but I like that you can turn on buffs that will give you more fractals from other activities. And then I saw like you can get bigger buffs as you rank up the obelisk, or I don't know if it's obelisk or obelisk. It's one of those.
Either one.
But I like what I'm seeing so far. And then you can pick different guns, you know, just like Black Armory. Like you can pick the gun that you want to go and pick up and grind a roll for it directly. And then you have the specific ones from the sundial that you can get as rewards.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it takes a second to just kind of... Actually, Dado's got a good video up that kind of breaks it all down. But if you just kind of set at one and look at the different things, obviously you'll figure it out. But it's definitely more depth than I thought they were going to be. I didn't realize we were going to be linking these many different, you know, aspects to the one sundial activity. And I will say, too, man, the this particular thing, of all the different kind of wave-based things we've seen, I just said it not too long ago. Like, I still think it would be awesome to have something that kind of carried through the seasons. It was just a pillar, like Prison of the Elders. But this one, dude, is all the different ones we had. This one, I enjoy it. I know I've seen like Menagerie 2.0 and some, you know, insinuating that's a good thing, some bad, like want to see something different other than just picking up orbs and taking them somewhere. But this particular one, man, like, messing with time and you know, when you come out of that thing and it's the dark, what is the one of the worlds is like a dark, grittier look.
It's like the future.
Yeah.
The future.
They could so implement something like that with this, right? Like a new season starts, but it's still this activity. But when you go through the time portal, it's a whole new thing they've built in a boss, you know? They could so do something with it. And I enjoy that aspect of it. I think it's cool. Anyways.
I like as well, even on the layer of what the activities are in the sundial. Like, again, like kind of talking about the menagerie, it's like Menagerie Light in terms of like how long it is, how many waves. Like you're kind of progressing a bar, just like in the menagerie, and you can do well or do poorly depending on what you're doing, but you can, if you do really well, like 2 activities, you're to the boss.
Right.
If you do really poorly, like it might take you longer, but it depends on your progress, which I like that, because sometimes you'll get in with a group of players and they don't quite get a certain activity and you feel like you're banging your head against a wall sometimes. But with this, like, it's not a big deal if one portion of it, not everybody's catching on, you know? But then it's, you know, so you're only doing like 2 or 3 different things, and what you're doing isn't terribly complicated, you know, like, but they're fun, and the final boss is fun to fight. Like all the different things I've done in the sundial, like I enjoy so far. So
yeah, I agree. I mean,
like
when I first went in, I was like, And then I don't know, 2, 3, 4 times in, I mean, I had started to see it. Like, it's fun. I enjoy it. It doesn't feel too much like just rinse and repeat, doing the same thing again.
Yeah. And there's a few different
like
things that it just kind of randomly goes through. So depending on what you end up with, like, you don't do the same stuff every time, and it's not, it's not as monotonous as I guess it could be, I suppose.
Right. Yep.
But you're saying,
no, I'm just enjoying it, man. I'm getting my PvE strat together. What I'm gonna do, I want to get this title. I like the title, so I'm gonna work on that. And at some point, I hope to dive into the Crucible, but I haven't yet. But that's pretty much what I've been up to, man. I'm not. It doesn't sound like I'm quite as far as you on some of these quests, but I'm just kind of trying to grind through it. I'm trying to strategize my bounties a little bit more. Spend a little more time like swapping weapons and stuff to get these bounties done to stay up to speed on my season pass. Whatever happened last season, like I said, I don't know if it was the Crucible or what, but anyways, yeah, no, been doing that thing. Like I said, still fitting in some Minecraft, of course, with my kiddo. PS4, dude, we talked about this. The Bedrock edition came out. I was seeing some leaks here and there, and I was showing my son, and then I'm like, yeah, man, I don't know. But then somebody like posted the actual case of the game. We've been playing Minecraft long enough now. The Bedrock edition artwork is different, and like we can like recognize it. So I'm like, oh man, this is looking pretty legit. And then sure enough, with this new season of Destiny, the Bedrock edition launched on PS4, which is a big deal in the Minecraft world. It basically links it to all other versions of the game on every other platform, so you basically can log into your Microsoft account on your PlayStation, which is crazy.
That's really cool.
It is cool, yeah. So we were looking at some patch notes for Minecraft and Destiny this week. But here's the only thing. Here's the only kicker, and it'll probably come with time. Realms and servers didn't launch with this. I think I've learned, we've learned it takes a little longer for those to come. But nonetheless, crossplay is there. So
that's
just
good.
doing the use. Yep, fitting in some Minecraft and some Destiny. I don't know, man. I think I'm trying to decide when I'm going to jump into the Crucible on Destiny, because I'm at 37% on my Luna kills, and I didn't end up hitting. I didn't get back into the Crucible much the last few weeks, so I didn't hit Legend last season. So I'm still, seasons away from my Unbroken title. But I would like to knock out Not Forgotten. But to do that, I've got to get out my Luna still, and I've got to get into the Crucible. But I don't want to run into the same thing that I did last season. So I think I'm going to focus on PvE and the title maybe, and then with whatever time I have left, hopefully we have some. Like we said, it doesn't seem like we're going to be overwhelmed. Maybe I'll dive into the Crucible.
The collection items, so like the ritual weapons and the badges or whatever, like what is it, the emblem and shaders for that this season, the quests aren't as terrible as they were.
Right, because you said you already had the sidearm, right?
Yeah, the sidearm doesn't take long at all to get. I'm a little frustrated because the Vanguard quest for the shader and the emblem, they did that thing again where they moved the goalpost. Like I got to the end of it, and it's equally frustrating because so it had 3 tiers, like bosses killed, points earned in Nightfalls, and then solar kills. It didn't say ability or like discern between if it was weapons or abilities, but I think it was abilities. So I completed the first 2, and I was finishing out the solar, and it didn't show that it was going to change anything until all 3 were done. And then when I finished all 3, it raised the tier again. And it was like, okay, instead of 500,000 points, now it's 1 million points, and now it's solar weapon kills. And it just really frustrates me how they do that. Why, like, just make it all one big thing and show me I'm going to need a total of 1 million. Just tell me that up front.
Right, yeah, that's what I was going to say. That's the big piece of it. Just to know is the biggest part of it, right?
So I can, plan accordingly. Like I figured, oh, 500,000, that's not going to be bad. I'll do that in these easy nightfalls. I could have been grinding more points out in the master nightfall if I wanted to, you know, but I'm not planning it that way because I didn't think I needed that many. Anyways, it's just, it gets on my nerves.
Yeah. I think we had
it's not as, punishing as last season's. I'll say that. So it seems like on all the ritual stuff and all that, like they toned them down a little bit this season, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
So honestly, like I'm trying to knock all that stuff out as quickly as I can.
Yeah.
So that all I have to do is like the new stuff, you know, as it comes out.
I think I may do the same.
Because I'm just coming out of like the grind for the title for last season, which I don't remember when we recorded last time, but I think it was before I finished it. I don't recall, but I finished that title Undying the day before reset, and it was a grind. But I just I'm so used to grinding now. I'm like, hey, let me just lean into it. Let me grind all this stuff out now so I don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
And then I can just do the new stuff when it comes out, you know, and just have fun with it.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. I may do the same.
I don't know.
Anyways, what else you been up to, man?
Yeah, so, you know, enjoying the new season. I like, you know, like I mentioned, I like the new activities so far. I really enjoyed the spoiler alert if you haven't gotten that far, but there is a mission where you go to the past.
I have not done that yet.
And visit
what prompts
Saint 14. That? Oh, it's really cool, man.
Is there something that I have to do to prompt that, or I got to get so far?
So it's like I mentioned that quest,
the shotgun quest.
Yeah, once you get perfect paradox,
okay,
look for another quest from.
Okay, that's the one
from Osiris.
I got you. Okay.
And he'll give you.
I was wondering.
Quest.
I saw that stuff popping up on my feed, and I'm like, "Wait a second, what I missed?" But yeah, I was not getting through that one. I just finished the shotgun part of it, so
okay, yeah,
got a little bit to go.
That quest, the first part of it, is really annoying because they send you to 3 different destinations where you have to find these little nodes to shoot, and some of them are infuriating to find. And it's just very, very obvious busy work.
Right.
And I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff. But past that, once you get past that and you do another step where you got to kill Vex, then you get to go do a cool mission. And it takes you to the Dark Age, and you're on Mercury. And you go to basically save Saint 14's butt.
That's awesome.
And fight this big fight. It was actually a challenging mission. Like, it took, you know, a little while for me to complete, and you have to be smart, and you don't just go in there and just destroy everything. So It was fun. But man, like, how awesome of a payoff it was to actually do like what everybody kind of theorized might happen with Saint 14 down the line, which is like you literally go back in time, meet him, inspire him, and give him perfect paradox, like just like they said it would in that quest. And
that's cool. Now
it's in the game. Like, I'm so psyched that they actually did that. It wasn't just a tease, you know what I mean? Like,
right? Yeah.
I'm just so satisfied by it. I don't know.
That's cool.
So I think that's pretty cool, and I've enjoyed that. And there's more to come on that storyline. So I'm excited by that, and so I've enjoyed it all so far. I think it's pretty cool. I got caught up on the new lore. There's some really cool lore that there's two books, and you can. I don't know how you. I know one of them you unlock through completing the sundial.
Yeah, it seems the other similar, one, right, to last season.
The other one I'm not sure, but you can read them if you want on
Ishtar.
Ishtar Collective. And one of them details a bunch of new information about the speaker or the speakers.
Yeah,
actually.
I saw a vid pop up by Mylan talking about why he has his mask. I was wondering. I hadn't.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Obviously got it from that, yeah.
And kind of fleshes him out as more of a character that it squashes some stuff. I'll put it that way. Like the speaker isn't necessarily a charlatan. I'll give him that credit now. I may not have always felt that way. So there's some cool information there, and it also kind of talks about like Saint 14 and the speaker's relationship, because that was a thing that was kind of teased in the past. And then the other book talks about Saint 14 and Osiris's relationship, and they have some really cool detail of like the Battle of the Six Fronts, which is really cool. Like some interesting like play-by-play on some of that stuff, and so really fun additions to the universe there that they're kind of fleshing out. I'm excited.
Just goes back to what we've talked about before. It's easy to take for granted all the stuff, things like that they put into the seasons that really add backstory and such. I haven't finished. I haven't really dove into them yet, so I need to do that.
Dude, take some time, man.
Much
just
depth to the season, right?
When you're eating lunch or something, just pull up Ishtar Collective and start reading entries, Yeah,
definitely.
So what I like to do is I just kind of have the browser tab open on my phone, and when I have like, I got 2 minutes, I'll like sit there and like read an entry or something.
Read an entry. Yeah, that's cool. I mean, the last time that I always love the lore, but the last time that I really just dove into the full season's lore was Black Armory, and man, it adds so much depth, dude, when you just get those backstories, right? Which Black Armory maybe was kind of unique in the way that obviously we got Ada and very specific, whereas a lot of times like this, we're getting more info on a character we've already known, but it still adds depth, of course. It's worth it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and this builds a lot of it talks a lot about Osiris too, and like him starting out like as a guardian, and how he ended up at the city, and how Saint 14 played into that, and just it fills a lot of little gaps that weren't there, I guess, at times.
Cool.
So I like that.
You reminded me too, just saying Osiris again, seeing all these little tooltips and icons with the Osiris stuff, which obviously looks like trials, is just teasing me even that much more, man.
I know.
The banners and even when you hover over him, of course, on Mercury, it's like, dude, it takes me back.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yep. Well, yeah, I mean, that's kind of all I've been up to this reset. Just jumping into the new stuff and trying to do some of the ritual things for the new stuff for this season. And I'm enjoying it so far. It's a fun season. I think it's tough. It seems like any season or any expansion, like immediately following a big expansion, is a tough spot every time. Right. But we'll see how this one plays out. Yeah. But I'm optimistic about the season so far.
Yeah, I'm optimistic about what's there and the depth for it. But I think there's something to be said, like we said, for the sweet spot of almost after those big fall launches to have a little bit of a break, if you will.
Like not too heavy.
It's like you want the content to still be meaningful and the story behind it, but at the same time, right now I am totally cool with some breathing room.
Yeah, because there's just still a ton of stuff to play and things to do on the moon and stuff from the previous season before that to do still. There's just like a ton of stuff to do. So
definitely.
So yeah, that's what I've been up to. I will say I'll mention that there is no raid this season, but I'm frankly mostly cool with that because I'm still wanting to play the Shadowkeep raid.
Right.
And there's still stuff that we haven't finished on that one. I would enjoy seeing a new raid next next season though.
Yeah, I wondered about that. Like it'll be weird. I would think it's on a every other season cycle. Maybe it would be weird not to get one until the next fall. That'd be kind of crazy.
Yeah, even
then
just
it makes me wonder
or something, you know.
Right? Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
would be good.
Makes me wonder if they do launch an in-game PvP mode, if they'll throw something on the PvE side along with it.
Right.
But who knows? We'll see.
We will see. Well, that's it for me this reset. Looking forward to next reset, checking out the dawning and stuff. How about some Derp Fam discourse before we wrap this up?
Yeah, we got an email. I'll give it a go here.
Okay.
This is this one. The setup and the setting of this Guardian is similar to us. We got an email from Jimmy. Parenting and Destiny. I'm sure it's similar to many Guardians that are listening. It says, "Hey, Cyborg and Arrow. Firstly, I love the podcast and am a huge fan of the two of you. I have a problem that you guys may be able to help me out with. I'm a husband, a father of 3 children, and live a busy life. I enjoy playing Destiny often, but like many parents, I struggle to find the time to game. I work third shift until February of 2020, so I can't stay up late to play like many of my other friends because I'm at work while everyone sleeps. I fear that playing video games isn't fatherly enough of me, and I'm failing my children in some way because my hobby of choice is gaming and not something more productive. Thanks for reading and hope to hear back. Keep up the awesome content. Your fellow Guardian, Jimmy."
Jimmy,
thanks for the email. Cyborg, what do you think, man? Think about this.
That's it. Hey, he's on to something that a lot of parents talk about or think about. If you like video games, which is, you know, there's hobbies that you can do with your kids. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of them. There's some that you can't. There's hobbies that take up. I look at it, I'll just give you my perspective, right? I live in this deep South. Common hobbies here are fishing, hunting,
similar where I'm at here in the
sports
Midwest.
fanning, right? Mm-hmm. Going to every football game, baseball game, basketball. Those are common hobbies here. And then there's like kind of stuff that a lot of people or anybody can get into anywhere, like fitness stuff, you know, jiu-jitsu or CrossFit or running or, you know, there's all these, I mean, okay, there's a million hobbies, right, that you could do outside of playing games. This is the way I look at it. And gaming isn't my only hobby. It's one of my main ones. But it is a hobby that I can do at home when it's convenient for me. And I don't let it take away from family time. Right. So like I just have this rule that if I can be spending time with my kids or with my wife, I don't game. Unless, you know, occasionally like when there's like a
if
big
they're doing
release,
something that's similar, right?
Yeah, probably. Well, like when there's like a big release for Destiny, like I might play all day one day.
Right,
you know?
yeah.
This is very rare though.
Well, and they, you know, you even have each age range can have kind of like a down-ish kind of hobby, if you will. Like if everybody's just kind of taking it easy around the house or something.
Sure.
But yeah, no,
yeah, like
typically
if the kids are taking a nap
time.
and my son's playing Mario and my wife is, you know, hanging out. Like if everybody's doing something else, I might pick up the game for a little while. But like if there's something I can do with them, then I won't play Destiny. But I'll play games with my son. Like if that's what he wants to do. Like and sometimes he's interested in that. Lately he hasn't played much games at all, so we're not doing that much, but we're doing other stuff instead, you know?
Right.
Anyways, like bringing it all around, it's different for everybody. You know, like Jimmy mentions he works third shift, which is really tough no matter how you spin that to like make things work with the family when you work third shift, right? Because when you get time, it's different than the average place or the average family. I don't know. Just think about what works for you. Like, you don't have to feel bad for doing
that's what
a
I was
hobby.
going to say, right? I think the first thing you need to definitely get rid of is you are definitely not fatherly enough. If gaming's your hobby, man, it's what you like to do. You just coordinate your time, and obviously you're going to make time for your family. Don't feel bad about playing games, right? It's
Yeah, I think
no
everybody
different than
should
a lot
have
of
something.
other hobbies.
Everybody should have something for them.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Definitely.
I think there's an interesting like shift in how people parent. Where if you look at like parenting 50 years ago or 60 or 70 years ago, like most parents and most adults, like they just did what they wanted to do and expected their kids to just kind of keep themselves busy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like parenting today is very, like the culture of parenting is very much revolves around the kids now. And I don't think that's a terrible thing, but I think that there's a balance to be struck where like a lot of families overdo it and think that they, like adults feel like they can't be adults and have a personal life, you know, like, I don't know. This is a topic for a different day, but
Different podcast.
yeah.
I mean,
But so just don't feel guilty about having something for
No.
you know?
Yeah. Definitely not. I mean, if the gaming's it, I mean, like Cyborg said, you're at home, you know, you're not out and about. Like, really,
Yeah.
what? I mean, there's a lot of things that wouldn't be as I don't know if good's the right word, but maybe convenient and or you know you're
Right.
still there. Things like that if needed. But yeah, no. And then as far as the balancing of time, you know, like Cyborg mentioned, we work during the day, so. We can balance out the late nights usually. I mean, we probably get less sleep than many people, but that's on our own accord, right? But we don't have to. It's in balance with the rest of our family. So yeah, I mean that is that particular part is a bit of a challenge, but
it can be.
figure it out.
can be.
Yeah, don't feel guilty about playing if you can figure that out.
Right.
So great email. Yeah, different.
Yeah, good question.
Different one.
Something
Good
to
one.
think about.
Mhm.
Definitely something to think about. How do you make
Thanks,
it work
Jimmy.
for you? And I know some people that have like had times in their life where they're like, I just put games down because it got in the way of what else I wanted to do, and that's okay too. Like if you find that it's a hindrance, like don't let it be that.
Right.
You don't want it to be that.
I know. I think it's funny too when I don't know, it might be a coworker or something. It's weird. It's slowly going away in our generation, but you know, you'd hear classic growing up, and I still hear it sometimes around the office. You know, playing the NVIDIA games, and then it's like if you start to talk to somebody for a second and ask them what their hobbies are, you know, they might say they binged watch a TV show or something, and I'm like, can we talk for a second about the difference?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, it's just funny. I haven't had one of those conversations in a long time, but that's where it's like, you know what? Like you said, you gotta everybody's gotta have their own thing that they enjoy doing, and whatever it is for that particular time, just enjoy it, right?
Right.
So,
Definitely.
yep. There you go.
All right. Well, if you've got some question you'd like to weigh in on, or if you have something in the show that you'd like to weigh in on, you can send us an email, destinyresetpodcast@gmail.com. You can send us a speakpipe, speakpipe.com/destinyreset. Or you can go to a Discord channel. It's called, I think it's Derp Show Questions. Is that right?
Yes, that is right.
Yep. And send us your discourse, and you get featured right here on the show.
Very easy to do, Guardians.
We love when you do it.
Appreciate
How about
it.
some patron shout-outs?
Yeah, we got a couple this week, couple new ones. It's crazy, man. It seems like we have them every week. It's fantastic of you guys to support us in the Dirt Fam. Shout out to Solace of Silence and Mr. Giggle Stuff.
Mr. Giggle Stuff.
Appreciate the support and the kind words.
Yeah, thank you for becoming a patron. If you don't know what a patron is, go to patreon.com/destinyreset. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the production budget of our show. You'll get a few things in return. You'll get a shout out right here on the show. You get your gamer tag on our website. And then you'll also get access to a special channel just for our patrons and supporters, which you'll get to talk to us about whatever you like.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything. We're an open book there. So thank you to all of our patrons who month after month continue to give from $1 on up each month. It really helps us keep the quality of the show high and keep doing this for you every week. So we appreciate it.
We do.
All right, man. Where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter and YouTube at AER0KNIGHT with a 0. What about you, man?
Perfect. You can find me at CyborgSasquatch on Twitter. You can find us at Destiny Reset on Twitter. And then finally, you can find us on the web, www.destinyresetpodcast.com. It's your source for all things DRP, including links to subscribe on your favorite podcast app of choice. Finally, be sure to join our Discord if you're looking for a community. You can go to discord.gg/destinyreset. Thanks to Discord, we're a partnered server, so we get dedicated, high-quality voice channels for you to enjoy. We've got thousands of members. Lots of them are online at a time, which means you've always got somebody to come and chat Destiny, games, life, whatever you like with. Find people to play with, and even join our clans.
Yep. Come on in.
Hey, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, thanks for the reviews. And if you haven't, please leave us one. Do we have any new reviews this week?
We do. Why don't you do these shout outs? I did the patrons.
Okay. JLaw Re 005 and BRNCRMP. I don't know what that means, but thanks for the reviews. Again, if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, thanks for the reviews, and please leave us one if you haven't yet. It helps us get seen and heard by more listeners like you.
Thank you, Guardians.
Thank you very much. All right, man.
Appreciate it.
That's the show.
It is the show. It's another show. We have one more before Christmas, and then we break for one reset.
So we'll be back next week to talk to you about the new fun stuff in Destiny.
We will. Until next reset, have fun playing Destiny 2, and take care, Guardians.